All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Pursuit of Progress podcast. I'm Ben Adams, one of your co-hosts, along here with Adam Lang. And today we're going to be talking about something that's really, really important. I know it's something that all of us have struggled with at some point along our lives, procrastination. I can tell you that, oh my gosh, procrastinating for me, it's just such a terrible way to live, such a terrible feeling. And I'm so glad that we have this next 15 minutes to a half hour to talk about it.
Do you even want to talk about it, or should we put it off a little bit longer?
You know what? Let's put it off till next week.
Should we procrastinate? Let's just put it off.
Let's put it off till next week.
Just kidding, guys. Because of this tip, this tool, this actionable, advice that we're going to share with you guys today, we no longer procrastinate as bad, and hopefully you guys can follow suit. So we're going to just talk today again about procrastination. If you guys have ever just hesitated too long, lost momentum, that could have been from procrastination. And we're going to share with you today a quicker episode where we're just going to share one specific tip, one specific advice. And this comes from Mel Robbins. If you guys aren't familiar with her, definitely look her up. She is one of the most popular female influencers right now when it comes to self-improvement. Very accomplished, very respected. So definitely check out Mel Robbins. Now that we've given her the shout out, let's talk a little bit about what it is. And this is called the 5-second rule. And this is what she has coined as just her way to conquer procrastination. So Ben, what is the 5-second rule?
The 5-second rule is a book. And in that book, she goes over all of these different strategies. So essentially, when procrastination comes into your mind, and for example, it could be getting up in the morning. That's one that's a lot of people that struggle with, including myself. And so that alarm goes off and you're asking yourself, do I sleep in and hit the snooze, or do I get up? And what Mel suggests through her book, The 5-Second Rule, is to immediately start counting down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you count out loud. You can count in your head, but think of yourself as a rocket ship. That's the analogy that she uses in the book. You're doing this countdown and you want to think of yourself as a rocket ship. And when you do that, you're not really giving yourself a chance to say no or to procrastinate, because you're disrupting that mental rhythm.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like a pattern interrupt, or the way she puts it is, this interrupts the hesitation and it activates a portion of your prefrontal cortex. And it's just pushing this immediate action, just kind of a trick you can play on your mind to just take action and no longer hit that snooze for another 5 or 10 minutes. And the thing I'll just share too about this is just the sense of happiness, or just the motivation, the self-confidence that you get from finally being able to implement this and not fall back into the routine of, again, just like hitting the snooze button over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just something that over a few days, you might not notice it, maybe even over a few weeks, but the more you just kind of abide by this and really put it into effect as a non-negotiable, and just, really give yourself the respect to follow this every single time this comes up, you just really gain this extra kind of level of confidence that is hard to explain until you've done it yourself. So I recommend anybody to really kind of lean into this if you're on the fence, and just at least give it a shot for not just a day or two. You got to give it at least a few weeks, if not even maybe a month or longer.
And being a procrastinator, that is no way to live. And a lot of times the things that we procrastinate with are the things that we don't want to do, but they're also the things that are usually really important. And when you're not doing, and this is what Jeff Bezos talks about this. He's talked about this at length, and he believes that this is where stress comes from. Stress isn't the work that you do. It's when you're not doing the work that needs to get done, or procrastinating. And it's so true. Let me share a quick story. I took the kids and my girlfriend to go see a movie this past Sunday night. And so, I was there with my girlfriend, my son was there with his girlfriend, and my daughter was there with her boyfriend. And so it was like a double date. All of us were there with our better halves. Anyways,
Did you sit in the middle?
We're leaving the movie around 9:30 p.m. And this is a Sunday night. The kids have high school the next day. And my daughter's girlfriend says he needs to go home and write a 5-page paper. I'm like, wait, you're going to go home after 9:30 p.m. after the movies and go write a freaking essay? Like, how miserable does that sound? But you know what? I was that kid. I was that kid in high school. I always procrastinated. And what I learned is that you can never fully enjoy the moment if you have this thing over your head. So if you're going to the movie and trying to watch this movie and relax with your friends and your girlfriend and your family, but you know in the back of your mind you got to go home and write a 5-paragraph essay, you are not going to be able to be fully present and fully enjoy that experience. You're not going to be able to. Procrastinators do not fully enjoy life.
Yeah, if you think of a trait, character trait, to just, I think this is one of the things that all successful people, for the most part, have figured out how to at least minimize procrastination. And a lot of people that are still successful have this in them. I do myself as well. It's just a matter of having the ability, the discipline to still get it done regardless, and just have that mindset, which is super duper important. Another great book to check out on the same topic is Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog, where he talks about the same thing about the frog is just like the biggest, most daunting task. Make sure you just do that first. That way it prohibits you from procrastination, and just get it done, get that anxiety out of the way. And then you can kind of go about the rest of your day with a lot more just, calm and peacefulness.
Yeah, it's exhilarating to do the thing that you don't want to do. Maybe it's exercise, going to the gym. Maybe it's getting up on time.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you personally that when I have those days, and listen, I'm like everybody else. There are days that I miss going to the gym, that I sleep in, that I procrastinate. I am not perfect. But I will tell you this. If I do hit that snooze when and I blow off the gym, or if I miss it, I don't, that ruins my whole day. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't have the
Yeah.
same, because I'm mad at me. I'm angry at me because I didn't go do something I said I was going to do. And you might be there, for example. I feel like I let you down. I feel like I'm not prioritizing my health, and I just don't feel good about that. Or maybe it's a call. Maybe it's calling a prospect. Whatever it is, if you don't do the thing you're supposed to do, or do the thing that you said you were going to do, it's impossible to feel good about that. Now, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've been much better. I mean, I haven't missed a gym day in like 45 days.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last one. You've been really good on that.
And
And that's
one thing that helped me is I just moved my alarm. I have 2 alarms, and both of them now are on the other side of the room. So one alarm goes off, it's my phone, and I have that now on a docking station. I used to sleep with my phone next to me. And when I did that, I'd get up in the middle of the night and just start like weird, just start scrolling in the middle of the night. It's like I'm not even conscious. And so I now dock that on a docking station about 20 feet from where I sleep. And then my other alarm is just a hatch alarm clock. And that's also on the other side of the room. So for me, now I have to get up to go turn the alarm off. And once I get up and I start moving, like I'm not going to go get back in bed.
love that. Well, guys, let's just take a quick commercial break. Today's sponsored segment is actually by both of us. So we just wanted to share with you a live masterclass that we're putting on every 2 weeks, right around that frequency right now. And it's just for anybody that's interested in the home buyer process, whether you're a first-time home buyer, maybe you're a seasoned pro. We're just providing actionable, just real advice that's actually helping people succeed in today's very challenging and just unique market. These webinars are just packed full of knowledge, proven tactics, strategic direction to ensure that you're really prepared whenever that day does come. Ben and I are both hosting these live, and we've had a lot of really good success just with people getting value from them. So we'd love to have you on one of our next ones. To find out when it is and to get your free seat, just visit webinar.adamsoulsdenver.com, or just follow either of us on social media, where we post regularly about the next upcoming live webinar date. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the next one. So now, Ben, let's talk a little bit about practical steps for immediate action. Just, we've talked pretty much about this very simple concept, but just what is an actionable step for people to take just to start implementing?
Yeah, we got 4 or 5 actionable steps here. Let me do the first one just because I love doing countdowns. But the next time you hesitate, try using the countdown. I know that it sounds kind of silly, but just try it. Whatever, I moved my alarm clock across the room. I thought that sounded silly, and it works. So some of this silly stuff sometimes works, but do a countdown. Start by counting down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move towards the task. If you don't want to do something, pause, count down, and then move towards the task. What's number 2?
Love that. And just a little pro tip, you guys, if you're trying to learn a second language, maybe Spanish, start doing that in a different language. Cinco, cuatro, tres, dos, uno. So my second thing is
Love
just
it.
start with small tasks to build up your confidence. So don't have this be something that just gets you really frustrated from day one. Just start with just, things that are going to build up your confidence. And what I'm referring to here is, after doing this countdown, just whatever it is that you're procrastinating on, don't have it be like the biggest thing ever. Like you need to write this 10-page paper by 5 p.m. today. Have these small wins kind of help build up your confidence with this and then move into some of these bigger tasks that you might be also procrastinating on.
Yeah, number 3, what's most important when you're building out a new habit? It's consistency. So learn
Mm-hmm.
how to develop a pattern of consistency.
This could take 30 days. This could take a couple months. The thing here is just consistently over a longer period of time to build that up into your brain where it becomes a habit.
Yeah, yeah. When you learn how to be consistent and you've developed that, then you can be a little more intense, but you got to be consistent first.
And then I would say the last one is just journaling. I'm not a big journaler. I know Ben is more than I am, but just somehow be able to just kind of track and just, document. And the reason for this is because you can start to look back and just start seeing these very small improvements and then get hopefully some confidence from that to see how this productivity has been improved. And hopefully just taking kind of an inward look on yourself, on your anxiety and your stress, and hopefully just seeing that there is some benefit to this by feeling less anxious and
Yeah,
stressful after doing this for a while.
and I am a journaler now because I learned that, and this is the journal that I use. It's called Self Journal. What I love about this, though, there's two things. There's a habit tracker built in, and so what the Self Journal encourages you to do is to identify and write down what are those 5 or 6 habits that you want to do daily that are very important to you, that bring fulfillment to you. And I, like so many other people, I thought journaling meant I have to, write paragraphs at a time or pages at a time. And my actual, writing in this journal, it's very limited, but I still feel so fulfilled when I complete it. And, the first thing I do every morning on the left-hand side here, it says, "Today I am grateful for." And there's 4 lines. And so I just write down 4 things that I'm grateful for that day. And a lot of times it's a sentence or it's 4 or 5 words. To me, that is journaling. But let me tell you this, since I started writing down what I'm grateful for consistently every day, my world has changed. And when I face those challenges and those hardships, I just, it's like I realize that I can still go through the storm and face adversity, but still have peace in my life at the same time. And having
Love that.
writing that down in my gratitude journal has really helped that. It's been a huge change for me. And then the other thing is there's a habit tracker. So I wrote down 5 or 6 things that are most important to me: reading, praying every day, my devotional, running, going to the gym, spending time with family. And then all I do, it outlines it for 90 days. Did you do it today or not? You just put a little check, and then you can do it for 90 straight days. And then you can see what you've done. So developing that consistency and just having a higher awareness of what my attitudes, my activities, my habits are, it's really, really helped.
Love that. Yeah, as far as from on my end, just kind of as a recap and just to kind of challenge everybody here that's listening or watching this episode today, is just understanding that, this isn't going to be something that just dramatically changes overnight. It's all about that consistency and just giving it a shot. Maybe this is a great one for you, maybe it's not, but at least give it enough of a chance to see if it does move the needle even just a little bit in the right direction. This is the whole point of our podcast. It's just how we can get 1% better every day. Some of these different tactics and tips work better than others for different people and different personality types. So give it a shot, see what you guys think. And if you do get any value from it, I would love just to hear how it is positively affecting you. And, leave that in the show notes or send us a direct message on social media. We'd love just to hear more about how it might be improving your lives.
That's right. Pick one thing this week. You don't have to change the world. Just pick one thing. Choose not to procrastinate. Choose to be consistent. And then let's check back in a week.
Love that. All right, guys. Well, this was a quick one, but hopefully it gets you some actionable value that you can implement. As always, guys, appreciate you listening, viewing, sharing the show with your friends and family, and anybody out there that you feel like needs a little bit extra pep in their step that maybe we can help provide some motivation and just some tips and tools to help with that. So, as always, guys, Adam sharing this with Ben. We'll see you guys next week on a brand new episode of the Pursuit of Progress podcast. Ben?
The pursuit. Hey, stay proactive. Have a positive and productive week, everybody. We love you.
See you guys.